everybody. It's 3 p.m. and it is time for dinner with Nanny Bubby. So happy you're here, so happy you are joining me. I'm very excited today because we are going to be making rosemary skewers with chicken kabobs on them. I blended 2 recipes between Rosemary's appetizer with the marinated fontina cheese and grapes on rosemary skewers and Tanya Murray's recipe with shrimp skewers. So I am starting with chicken, but first I just want to remind all of you tomorrow I'm so excited because Love in a Tuscan Kitchen is going to be here with Cheryl Ness. Hey Carolyn, how are you? There is our NWP chairman of the board. Welcome, Carolyn. So happy to see you. Always so proud of you. Hi, Teresa. So, Carolyn is saying hi. Okay, so tomorrow we have Love in a Tuscan Kitchen. It is Cheryl Ness and Chef Vincenzo. They met over a piece of chocolate cake in Italy. She fell in love with him over this delicious recipe of chocolate cake. She did not speak Italian, he did not speak English, and love ensued. They are now married and living in Minnesota, and they are coming on to cook with us tomorrow. They are Judy Wood's guests because Judy could not make it tomorrow because she's a realtor and a busy realtor. At 3 p.m. she was already booked, and she so graciously provided this interview for us. So let me tell you what's happening tomorrow. When you come, bring someone else. So Carolyn, Teresa, tell a friend to come to the interview tomorrow. When they get there, everybody has to type something. Hey, Lene. And so everybody will just put a 1 if you're a regular, but if you're brand new, you have to just type the name of Teresa, who brought you, or Carolyn, who brought you, or Lene, who brought you. And the reason you want to bring your friends is that, number 1, that will give you 2 or 3 or however many friends type your names. Hey, Brenda. However many friends type your name, you get that many entries into the drawing. Hey, Judy, talking about you, my friend. And what you are winning is a signed autographed copy of Love in the Tuscan Kitchen in a Tuscan Kitchen. Look them up, loveinatuscankitchen.com. And Chef Vincenzo has put together all these fabulous Italian herbs, and you can win one of the Italian herbs. So they'll send you a signed book, they'll send you his Italian special blend of herbs, and it's going to be such a fun interview. I cannot wait. And Roseanne said she's so excited to see them tomorrow. I know, I really am. I can't wait to hear their love story. You know, everybody's got a story, and it's just wonderful. We all have arrived in this moment with a story, and many of us have several stories. So this is their love story. And Judy said, I'm going to break away to watch. I've been inviting people. That's awesome, Judy. Make sure they type your name when they arrive so that we know that you sent them. That'll give you the drawing, although you probably won't want to win that book because you have so many and you have the herbs, but nonetheless, you could pass it on to one of your friends who have come aboard. And Roseanne said, share the promo video you uploaded with an invite. Yes, for sure, do that. And Judy already said the herbs are great. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. So I'm so happy you guys are here. So today I mentioned I am doing a blend of Roseanne's rosemary skewered grapes and marinated fontina cheese, which were an appetizer. And then Tanya Murray, who took the same rosemary skewers and put them through shrimp and grilled them on a barbecue. So today I am doing just about the same thing, but I'm doing chicken kabobs, and I'm going to show you how we get started. So the first thing, where is Frank today? No Frank, oh my goodness, he's a little late. Okay, so these rosemary skewers, if you can see them, I have been soaking in water, and the reason why is I'm going to put these on the grill. I have my little grill pan right here. So I'm going to take these skewers, I'm going to put them on this grill pan, and I'm going to stick them onto a really hot barbecue so that they skewer and grill really, really quickly. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pat these dry. Let me take them out. These have been soaking since about 2 o'clock, so for the last hour. And just so that you can see, I have skinned down just about maybe the 1st inch of the rosemary skewer, and anywhere that, like this one, I maybe didn't skin as well, so let me just take a few leaves off of there. And same with this. Now some of these are very thick at the bottom, one of these, so you can see the difference in circumference. So this is much thinner and this is much heavier. And in speaking to Tanya today, because I had a few questions about how she did her shrimp, she gave me a pro tip on how to skewer, keep dropping all this water somewhere, on how to skewer very seamlessly. So I'll get to that in just a minute. So the first thing that we are going to do is, if you can see, I have already hydrogen peroxide and cleaned all the vegetables that we're going to be using. So look how beautiful this looks on camera. Actually, we're going to be doing red peppers, the yellow squash, the zucchini squash, and the button mushrooms. And here's just a few more of the tomatoes that are left over on Nanny Bubby's garden, trees and vines. So I've got a few of those. And this is my food grade hydrogen peroxide. And so just if you want this, you can go to nannybubby.com, go to Game Changers, and scroll down till you find this. You can order right off the website, right to Amazon, it'll take you. And I use about 5.5 ounces of hydrogen peroxide. And let's see, 18 minus 5.5 is about 12.5 ounces of just pure filtered water. And this is what I use to clean all of my vegetables. You've all heard me say that, but Frank is here. Hey, Frank, you made it. Berta Phillips is brand new, and she may not have heard me talk about that. Hi, Berta. And she says, let's see, if only the Princess Shayna didn't dislike Rosemary. Well, there you go. That happens, right? But serve it to somebody other than the princess, and you should be fine. So this is the board that I cut the chicken on. So I cut the raw chicken into cubes. That always worries me. So just as a part of hygiene, I just want to mention, I double lined this cutting board in parchment paper. When I was done, of course, I threw the parchment paper away. I took the knife and the cutting board, and I took both of these and I sprayed them down with a food grade hydrogen peroxide, both sides of the cutting board, because sometimes things leak over the side. And I let them set for a very few minutes, and then I rinsed them clean with water and dried them, and I don't feel like any live salmonella virus is in the kitchen at this point. So I just want to mention that. So let's take a few things and let me show you some of the tricks of the trade. Give me a 1 if you can see this cutting board. Nice and good. Let me know that you can see everything, and let me just tell you, that just smells heavenly, just absolutely heavenly. So one of the tricks that Tanya will start with the mushrooms, and I do want to tell you how I clean mushrooms. So this is all cleaned already. The button stem is still on it. Let me turn it to the side so you can see. And what I do in the way that I clean mushrooms, and I'm not sure, that's great. All right, everybody can see, that's great, thank you. Is I take my button mushroom, I pull it out. This is a sponge that I get at Trader Joe's. It is a dehydrated sponge when you buy it, so it's like almost as thin as 2 pieces of paper put together. You take it, you put it under water and hydrate it, and it bounces open to this size. I put a little bit of cold water on the sponge. I just squeeze it out, and I wipe the mushroom with the sponge. I don't use this sponge for anything else except for mushrooms. And there you have it. You get all that dirt off the outer side of the mushroom. It goes very pretty. The one reason that you do that is because I am told, and I don't know because I've done it both ways, but I'm told that if you take the mushroom and soak them in water, they absorb all this water, and they're just really not any good. So let me just show you a few tricks. We're going to start with this mushroom, and I think I'm going to actually start, because this is a very thick rosemary, with this bigger mushroom. I'm going to cut the stem. There we go. And I am going to use a stainless steel skewer or any type of skewer, and I'm going to go through it. It's got a point, it's slick, And putting the hole in the mushroom is better with this stainless steel skewer. And then what you're gonna do is take the rosemary and put it through, and then it's not so difficult to get through. Now this is kind of thick, so there we go. Few things. I think I need to take a few more off because it was very thick at the bottom, and I think that mushroom was gonna literally break apart. So let's try again. Here we go. Okay, up through. There we go. So this is a really thick, there you go. Well, it did. It broke in half. It did. But, well, let's try it again. Should we try it again? Let's just try a thinner one and see how I do. And again, this is tried and true, and I know Teresa loves it when I make mistakes live on camera because that's what cooking is. That's what life is. Nothing ever is perfect as you intended it. So we make mistakes, we just figure it out and keep going. Hey, Nancy Holland. So here we go with the skewer right through that mushroom. There we go. We're gonna take the rosemary and we are gonna go right through. This is a thinner piece of rosemary. And up through, there we go. Come on, mushroom, there we go. And we made it all the way to the end. There we go, okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut some zucchini, and I'm still hoping that you can see this. Let me just back you up a little bit. Move a little bit of these visuals out of the way and cut off the ends and into the compost bucket. And we're gonna cut these in about 1-inch pieces. There we go. And we're gonna do the very same thing with these as we did with the mushrooms, which is we're going to take the skewer and just skewer a hole right through so that they can easily just go right onto the rosemary skewer. Okay, whoop, and off goes the mushroom. Gotta love it. Okay, let's pull it back. Let's see how it works if it pulls back. Okay, not so badly. All right, there we go. And maybe the same thing with the yellow zucchini, yellow squash. I have these growing in my garden, by the way, and I'm very excited. Those were the zucchini and the yellow squash that I planted, I think in January with all of you. And then I went to go put them into under the grow light, and the grow platter slipped out of my hand and all the seeds fell onto the floor and I didn't know what to do. I just put them all back in as best as I could. So I have no idea what is growing out there, whether it is the zucchini, because what I did is I had it all lined up so perfect. Zucchini down this row, yellow squash down this row, and when it all fell out onto the floor, I just had to put it all back in. I have no idea if it's zucchini or if it's yellow squash or if it's one of each so close to each other, because the leaves all look the same. So you won't know until the fruit actually, or the vegetables actually grow. So, okay, there we go with the yellow squash. All right. Now, the next thing we're gonna put on is the chicken. So this is really where the skewer comes in very handy. So I think the very best thing to do is to season the chicken before we put it onto the skewer. So it's nice and dry. It's been out for just a little bit, just enough to get all that moisture off. And of course, I am going to want to wash my hands very well, not touching anything else. So what we're gonna do is toss this all together. There we go. And we're going to grab the skewer. Let's find a nice piece, and right through the middle. There we go. Oh, let's see. Skewer our dear Princess Shayna on a wood. Okay, you guys are chatting it up. That's a cute little comment. Okay, so here goes the hole was put through the chicken, for which I cannot find, believe it or not. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it here. Yep, there we go. And right through onto the skewer. So the really good news is that if you're using the rosemary to actually skewer through, it's just not enough. So you really do need to use the stainless steel skewer. Just give it kind of a little bit of a roundness to it. Just make sure that you know where that hole is so you don't get lost like I did a minute ago. And right onto There it goes. Now let's grab a tomato. And, well, I guess I should skewer that, right? Right through the stem hole. There we go. All good. All right, so there's that. I think we're going to put one more piece of chicken, and then we're going to end with a red pepper. So one more piece of chicken, or maybe 2 pieces of chicken. How's that? It's looking kind of lonely. 1 piece of chicken. There we go. 2 pieces of chicken. And now remember that we have, that is not thick enough. Remember that we soak these rosemary for about an hour so that we get them on the grill. We're hoping that they don't catch fire. I'm gonna put them in a grill pan. And now I'm gonna cap this backwards with this beautiful red pepper. I've already cleaned it. And I just wanna remind you how we cut a pepper, because we've got a lot of new people that pop in all the time. And so I guess I can't say enough some of the little tricks and tips that I've given over time. So this is how we cut a pepper. And by the way, this is a female pepper, and you can tell because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually 5, 6 humps. So the male peppers have 3 and the females have 4. And they say that the females are sweeter, and it's urban legend but they still report it, like you can still read about it. So who knows if it's urban legend or not. So we're gonna take this, and I'm gonna cut that lengthwise and then cut it in half, making a nice little cap piece for the end. Okay, the stainless steel skewer, there we go. And I am going to throw that on the very bottom. There we go. And onto the skewering hot grill plate. There we go. So right onto, look how beautiful that looks too. Look at the color. Isn't that fantastic? So let's do one more together, and then I'm gonna talk about the seasoning that we're gonna put on these. So Berta says, I am definitely doing this for my summer tea party. Princess won't be here. Okay, that's a good idea. When Princess is away, Mom will play. And let's see, Frank said, if fire happens, stop, drop, and okay. I thought you really had a good tip there, Frank. All right. And Roseanne said, since you shared that tip about the pepper tips, I always check to be sure there are 4 tips. Oh, I know. And have you tasted it to see if there's a difference? I mean, I actually think that I can taste the difference. So maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I want to taste the difference. I don't know. Okay, this looks like a good skewer, but I feel like it's thick, but the leaves are not too thick. So I'm going to cut this just a little bit. Let me grab this kitchen scissors here and cut that off. There we go. All right, so what are we starting with? We started with the mushrooms, so let's do it again. Here we go. So who's excited about Chef Vincenzo tomorrow? Now I need to go to find peppers and check it out. Yes, and mostly you will find the male peppers, which is usually the 3-pronged peppers. And again, as I said, it is urban legend. It is absolutely urban legend. They say that the legend is that it's, they're sweeter if they're this or sweeter if they're that. And this broke up. So you know what? I think honestly that the mushrooms are not the thing for the first thing on. I think we need something that actually can go the distance and not fall apart. So let's start with a zucchini. I think that's the lesson. So we'll put the mushroom on as we get down where it's a little bit thinner. So okay, here comes the zucchini. This is great. It's not gonna break there. That went on beautifully, right? And let's take this. And so these are the tried and true things that you have to do, that you have to learn. A lot of people get so much anxiety in the kitchen. I used to be one of those. I really still am. I know for my husband's birthday on Thursday, I was like terrified of the timing and would I get it all done and would I be ready when everybody got here, and I forgot to do something. And we all have a tendency to beat ourselves up, or at least I do. For trying to figure things out and get things done and make things perfect. God only knows. And I have thinned this out just a little bit to make it a little easier. I think I'm going to, let's see, how did I do it last time? All right, let's do the mushroom. I think the mushroom will make it, so let's try it. But I think that at the end of the day, what has really gotten me over my kitchen anxiety, believe it or not, is all of you, because I have learned that when you are here and I say, oh, you know what, this is life. Cooking is a metaphor for life. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they go poorly, and you just have to figure out what it is and what to do about it right in the middle of it all. And the fact that I've had the opportunity to do that with all of you, okay, that broke apart. Speaking of which, okay, mushrooms are not the best thing to put on the skewer. Okay, let's grab some meat. Let's put that on next. There we go. And so we all are there for each other. We all understand that life is really about, you know, doing the best we can, learning from our mistakes, and, you know, getting up. Meaning that my husband always used to say that a prize boxer becomes a prize boxer, not how many times he went down, but if he can just get up one more time than the opponent that he is fighting, he is the champion, right? And so it is with cooking and anything else, real estate, media, anything that we do in our lives, it's about getting up and continuing on. And oftentimes the biggest opponent that we face is ourselves, right? The biggest opponent that we face is what we say to ourselves in our own heads, and we would never allow anybody else to talk to us the way that we talk to ourselves in our own heads, which is so crazy, because we really all need to be our own best friends, right? Right. Okay, more chicken. There we go. All right. So there's one piece, and here's one more. How is this looking so far? And Roseanne said, Princess Shayna is my niece. Berta's my much younger sister. Hello, Berta. Your sister Roseanne rocks it, right? Has she ever done anything in her life that she didn't rock it? And I know this because she only started painting a couple years ago, and she's a Monet. She's a Van Gogh. She's sensational. Absolutely sensational. I know you're very proud of her, Berta. Okay, what is next? Let me look. How about the pepper cap? Ready? Okay. There we go. And if you notice, I'm trying not to put anything down on the cutting board that has touched the raw chicken. So, okay, here we go with the cap, pepper cap. And there you have it. How does that look? So the tomato and the pepper are very close in color. It would have been great to put maybe a pepper on this end, and maybe I will start with a pepper. So I have a pepper sort of capping it on both sides for the next one. So should I try one more? Should we do one more, everybody? I just want to see if I can get it perfect, right? Because God only knows. I'm going to thin out, if I've learned anything, I'm going to thin out some of these leaves so we have no trouble getting up the thicker side of the rosemary. There we go. Okay, so let's start with pepper. Okay. Yes, one more, Frank says. Thank you, Frank. Okay. Oh, and this has to go the opposite direction because you want the cap to always be facing inward. So at the bottom, we go up with the cap facing inward, but on the top, we're gonna go with the cap facing outward. So ready? Let's do it. I'm gonna take these two leaves off. They're just too thick to get over. Here we go. We've got the perfect rosemary now. Okay, up we go. There we, did I get it? I did, okay. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take off a few more of these. So Frank, tell us what city you're in. We're always interested to know what you're eating and what city you're in. So where are you today? Where is everybody today? Where's Berta today? Where does Berta live? Okay, here we go with the zucchini. Piercing it again. Okay, let's see what he says. Looking at your gorgeous rosemary makes me miss, oh, my poor rosemary plant. Oh my God, I'm gonna get you another one, Roseanne. I will get you another one. Oh my God, what a sad story that was. Okay, let's cut a yellow squash. Here we go. Up the rosemary, and let's go to the chicken next. And Berta said, I'm on, let's see, Camano Island, Washington. Oh my gosh. So is it cold up there? Is it rainy? I mean, the coldest summer I ever spent in my life was the week I spent in Seattle. So not, I know you reserved that line for San Francisco, but honestly, it is, I was like so cold. It was unbelievable. I had to go home. I had to get back to the desert where that sun beat into my back and just made me feel so good. It helped me get into my car, and I wouldn't turn the air conditioning on because I was so cold from, you know what I say is, I always need a fur coat in Las Vegas in July and August, where every restaurant, every mall, every movie theater is 32 degrees and below. Honestly, right? Who can raise your hand and agree with me on that? Like, give me a high five in the chat if you can agree with how cold things are in the summer here. It's like, I wouldn't think. I get actually frostbite on my hands when I go into Trader Joe's sometimes. So yesterday was 100 at your house. So wow, that is very cold in Seattle. So I could come visit you, Berta. I cannot go visit someone in Seattle. Okay, there we go. So I'm wondering if we can try a mushroom. So let's just kind of cut the stem a little, and let's put a hole right through it, and let's hope we can get, yeah, Judy says it's cold. It is very cold. Okay, here we go. Okay, the mushroom went on perfectly that time. That's awesome. So let's do one more zucchini. No, not a zucchini, a tomato. Okay, so remember to join us tomorrow when Cheryl Ness and Chef Vincenzo is going to be here to talk about Love in a Tuscan Kitchen. You can win a signed Love in a Tuscan Kitchen cookbook, and you can win their herbs, their amazing herbs that Chef Vincenzo, Italian herbs. Now, I just wanted to show you this, and I'm experimenting. This, my friends, is a chicken tender. And so what I'm gonna do is fold it in half, put a skewer through both sides of it like that, and then I'm actually going to, almost the way that Frank did it, if you remember, when he did his flank steak, which was amazing. But I'm gonna kind of take this and turn it, and just, let's see, where's the other hole? I cannot find the other hole. Let's see where it is. Right here? Okay, there we go. And if I had more room on the skewer, I might spread it out a little bit. And you could also do these, I think, with chicken tenders, which I think would be an absolutely fabulous idea. And we're gonna finish by taking the red pepper and skewering right on the bottom, just like that. And got a little bit of the chicken tender falling off, but there we go. So let's take these and let's, I won't do another one because it is taking a little bit of time, and just doing the same thing over and over can be boring, and I don't want to bore you. So let's talk about seasoning. So I will tell you that since I've discovered, let's see, Frank's the best. Oh, Frank said Frank's the best. Hey, Lucy, how are you? Maybe jumbo mushrooms, maybe they would be better. But they're hard to find, right? Like, they're just hard to find. So, okay. So are you ready? Let's talk about some of the things I've discovered since our Temecula olive oil experience. And by the way, let me tell you what Love in a Tuscan Kitchen is going to be cooking tomorrow. They're going to do a panzanella salad because it's summer and tomatoes are in bloom, right? And so that's amazing. Chef Vincenzo is going to do that. But Cheryl has a lavender ginger biscotti recipe that she's going to be making. And I can tell you that Cynthia and I, when I go back in August, July 30th to August 5th, one of those days, we are going to take a trip to a lavender farm in the Temecula area and interview the farmer of the lavender farm. And if we can get real lavender and talk about those kinds of recipes, then you guys can all come get fresh lavender from me, and we'll, you know, you can order your fresh lavender from the lavender farm, and we can have a great time like we have with Temecula olive oil. So I'm going to take hickory smoked olive oil because I absolutely think that this is the bomb. I love this stuff, and I think that since I'm putting these on the grill, it would be fantastic. What I have learned is that you never need as much olive oil as you think you do. It's honestly the truth. And let me just show you something that I'm gonna get. Hold on. These are the little pouring spouts. These are the little pouring spouts from Temecula olive oil. You just take them and push them right in where you took the cork out. Let me get some leverage here and push that in. There we go. And then you just simply take this top off like that, and you have this fabulous pouring spout that does not leak. So I love this. And so funny, I'd ordered these sometime before, and I thought, oh, they didn't send me the right things and I don't need corks. And I threw them all away. I can't believe it. I almost did the same thing when these arrived. Roseanne, oh, hey, Maruka. Maruka is here, long time no see. And Roseanne said Cheryl has a limoncello tiramisu recipe. So that will be absolutely fantastic. And will the rosemary burn from the grill? I don't think so. I really don't, because it's been soaked and it is green, right? And Judy said, I ate a whole tin full of the lavender ginger biscotti that Cheryl made with coffee every morning. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. So invite your friends, tell them to put your name in. Of course, you can write down the recipe as she's doing it, and you'll have an opportunity to win a signed cookbook from them, as well as their herbs. Okay, so as I was saying, you never need as much olive oil as you think you do. You really never do. So what you do is we are just gonna take a teaspoon, we're gonna measure it, of this hickory smoked olive oil, putting it right into a little ramekin. I'm going to grab my baster right here, and I think this could take 2 teaspoons, but I'm gonna start just with 1 because it's so amazing, I don't wanna waste it. So I'm gonna take my baster, and I'm going to just take these, they've already been salt and peppered, and I am just going to take this and rub it on, and I'll know when it's time to put this, oh, and you should smell it. You can smell that hickory smoked. It's so delicious. And you can see that there's still enough on the baster because this is all very slick. Can you see that? It's glistening. I know you can see it. And that's because the oil is actually right on it. So we will take, now this is just 1 teaspoon of oil. I'm just gonna take this and put this back in. I might need another one, or maybe just a half, let's see. And we'll pull this up, and there you go. And so I have to tell you, when it comes to salad, the one thing that I have learned is that you never want to put more than 1.5 tablespoons on a large bowl of salad of olive oil. You really don't. You just don't. Oftentimes, the salad really just has dressing floating in the bottom, and you really never want that. You just don't. By the way, I'm putting a little bit of the olive oil on the rosemary, and this hickory smoked along with the rosemary, because the rosemary has a hickory smoked, right? Like rosemary is very smoky as it is. It's really fantastic. So I would say, rule of thumb, let's say 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and seriously measure it out. And honestly, always toss your salad with oil first. Take 2 tablespoons of oil, pour it on top, toss it, and just keep tossing until that olive oil really gets on every leaf. And when you start, you say, oh, there's no way it's going to happen. And I really have to tell you, it is an issue of fast food. Again, we learned to go through McDonald's drive-thru, grab their salad in a cup, open the dressing, put it in, put the top on, and shake it 1, 2, 3, it's fast and quick, we can eat. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. You've got to slow down, take a breath, take your 2 tablespoons of oil on a large salad, 1 tablespoon on a smaller salad. And I mean not a salad for 1, but let's say a salad for 2 would be a tablespoon. A salad for 4 or 6 would be 2 tablespoons, okay? Toss it slow as you go and just watch and love and appreciate the beauty of the beautiful oil getting into every leaf. From there, 2 to 1 is my rule. Add a tablespoon of whatever vinegar you're using. So, I don't know, pomegranate vinegar, apple cider vinegar, you know, anything else. Toss that in and then literally taste it and see if you don't agree that that makes the absolute perfectly dressed salad. No shaking up the bottle and just pouring it on, and what you do is you pour for the top, and when it covers all the top, then you toss it. And that's how you get watered down salad or wilted salad or overdressed salad. And really, honestly and truly, romaine, even iceberg has such a wonderful flavor, so you just want to give it just a little taste of dressing. Okay, last thing. That's a Nanny Bubby philosophy right there. Okay. Oh my God. Some days I think to myself, what am I going to do today? What am I even going to say today? I don't even know. And then turn me on and I can pontificate about a tablespoon of olive oil. Like, oh my God. I feel like somebody winds me up, but I just get so passionate about all of this. And I just want all of you to love that food is slow and it takes time, and that, you know, your stomach and the aromas and everything gets ready for you to put it in your mouth, and preparing it is part of that. And you don't have that happen when you're in a drive-through or when you call Uber Eats. You just don't. Not that occasionally, when I'm overwhelmed and exhausted doing the TV show and all of that, we don't suddenly call Uber Eats, because we certainly have. But as a rule of thumb, you definitely want to go slow, enjoy, smell, appreciate. Did somebody send me a question mark about pontificating? I mean, I'm a pontificator, right? I am a pontificator. Okay, yes, pontificate. You know that word, right? It's ubiquitous. Okay, so there you have it. I used only a teaspoon of olive oil. Can you believe that? And look at how these are, whoop, can you see it? Can you see how they are glistening? They truly are glistening. So I'm gonna go out, put these on a hot grill. I will absolutely take a video of it for you so that I can show it to you. And I really appreciate you guys joining me here today. Remember to come tomorrow for Chef Vincenzo for Love in a Tuscan Kitchen, along with Cheryl Ness. They fell in love over a piece of chocolate cake, his recipe. We're going to be giving away a signed copy of his book and her book. It's actually, I think, by her, and the herbs that he has created, the Italian herbs. So it's very, very, very exciting. I just want to say one more thing. Berta said, was your seasoning just salt and pepper? It was. It was just salt and pepper and the hickory smoked olive oil with the pour top that Roseanne got and I wanted to duplicate. Also, last thing, I want to tell you guys a really quick story. So Dollface has always called me Nanny Bubby. And there's a story behind where that name came from and how it came to be. And that's a long pontification story. So I won't go into it now. But my grandmother's name was Nanny. I called her Nanny all of my life, and she truly was the absolute love of my life. There is no doubt about it. And yesterday was her birthday. And when my oldest grandchild was being born, I just didn't know. I wanted to be called Nanny in honor of my grandmother that I called Nanny and loved so much. But I also am very tied to my people and my culture and being Jewish. And it seemed that nobody my age or nobody that wore high heels would ever want to be called Bubby. Anybody with makeup or high heels or a little bit of fashion, it was like, oh God, please don't call me Bubby, just because our memories of our Bubbies from, you know, way back in the 50s or 60s were really, really 5x5 round women from Eastern Europe that wore those clunky, big, fat shoes. I don't know, there's a name for those shoes. And so you think, I don't want to be called that. Call me Mimi, call me whatever. But I really wanted to, if I didn't give a piece of history and culture to my grandchildren, I really felt that I was doing a disservice to them. Hi, Mary Campbell. So nice to have you here. So well, there's a story about how the name Nanny Bubby came up, but I'll tell that another day. But I ended up being Nanny Bubby in honor of both my grandmother, who I love so much, and my great-grandmother, Bubby, who everybody's had a Bubby if they're Jewish, so that we could pass on the culture. Because if we can't pass on our history, I mean, that's what Ancestry.com is all about. Anyway, yesterday was my grandmother's birthday. Of course, she's no longer here with us. And my grandson, who I call Mr. President, has been calling me Bubby since he could, every time he sees me, he goes, Bubby, Bubby, here's my name. He goes, Bubby, Bubby. But I posted yesterday in story. Yesterday during the show, he was watching, and what did he do? He literally, for the first time yesterday on my grandmother's birthday, on Nanny's birthday, yelled out, Nanny Bubby, Nanny Bubby. And it was like, oh my God, on today of all days, that word would come out of his little mouth. It was just really, really precious. So anyway, it made me so happy, and it really made me feel like my grandmother was with me yesterday. So anyway, that's the story. Love you all. I'm gonna go take this outside in a few minutes and grill it. And thank you for watching. Remember, tomorrow, Chef Vincenzo and Cheryl Ness, Love in a Tuscan Kitchen. It's going to be a great interview. Bring your friends, and we're going to keep track of all of you. You have to put a 1 in the chat when you arrive, because honestly, even though it says that there's 25 people here right now, it doesn't tell me, it only tells me who actually is chatting. It doesn't tell me how many people are actually showing up, how many of you are actually here, so, and who is here. So you actually have to type something in order for me to see you. I want to thank Judy Woods for allowing this great opportunity. Of course, Judy, I mean, I'm so sorry we won't be cooking with you, but I'm so pleased that you were so gracious to make tomorrow happen for all of us. I know everybody's going to enjoy it. So that's it, everybody. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Bye, everybody. Love ya.